Hey everyone, I wanted to talk a little bit about prepper knowledge versus skill. I think in the preparedness community, we always hear about, skills, and you need to make sure that you have skills. And I completely agree with that. But I think sometimes we go so far over to one side and we talk about skills, and we don't value the knowledge aspect of it. The thing is the more knowledge you have, the more understanding you have of a certain topic, the more options you have, the more ability to look at a problem that you might have and to be able to problem solve that situation. So I know this is like a very basic, example here, but let's just say that you are out in the woods and you're on a long hike, and you're just doing a hike away from civilization or whatever, and you have your water filter, and for whatever reason it starts to clog up, right? You get a lot of debris in there, it starts to clog up, and then you don't have any water. You need water. You need to be able to drink water. You're going through, you're hiking and all that good stuff. And so one of the things is, because you have that prepper knowledge, now again, this is very basic, right? But you know that you can boil water. You know that you can make a really quick filter, maybe with a cotton t-shirt or whatever, and then you have you can boil it and you can go that way and feel comfortable drinking it. Yeah, does it take more time than filtering it through a water filter or something like that? Yeah, definitely. But you know that you have different options like that because you have that knowledge. And so I think that's real important. I think that's something that we should gain. It's something that we should work towards, right? So again, not saying that we shouldn't have dealing with the sun, man, going right into the sun. Not saying that we shouldn't have practice our skills. Definitely. I think that's very important. We should be doing that. But at the same time, acquiring and gathering knowledge. And so how do you do that? What's one of the ways that you do because I know that when I got into preparedness, man, I wanted to sit in front of my computer and I wanted just to absorb all the knowledge that was there, and I wanted to, part of it was the freak out, part of it was there's so many things going on in the world, and you're reading the doom and gloom and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to sit there and I wanted to gather all that information. So what would I do differently now? The things that I would do differently now is I would still probably access all the websites like I do. I mean, that ultimately led me to start Prepper website. But I think that I would be a little bit more purposeful as doing the reading that I did, maybe doing that at a time where I couldn't work on skills. So maybe at night, when there was nothing else really going on, where most people just sit down and they watch TV and they just kind of veg out, I would use that time wisely, and I would read and study and look at the different articles that way. And then during the day, and when I had light, or when I had the option of maybe being in the garage or tinkering around with other things, that's probably what I would go out and practice skills. And maybe, I don't know, go out to the park. We have an area in our home, in our neighborhood, which is kind of like wooded area, so you could go out there and you can mess around and practice and do some things out there. The other thing is one of the ways that you can acquire knowledge, and I've really moved to this point in my life since it seems like I'm really busy, and I don't get to read for pleasure pretty much anymore, just because I do get pretty busy. But one of the things that I've done is I've moved pretty much the podcast to audio, and I love it. I got to tell you, I feel like I'm more audible. I mean, most people are visual learners. I feel like sometimes I'm just more audible. I gain more insight that way. And I use the times during my day when I'm just doing kind of mundane things. So like when I'm getting ready in the morning and taking a shower, I have a big speaker in my restroom, and I'm pretty much the only one home at that time, so I'm able to turn it up loud. So I'm in the shower, I can listen to a podcast, or I can listen to an audiobook when I'm making lunch or breakfast or whatever, I can be listening to that. If I'm outside in the yard, just maybe pulling some weeds in the garden or whatever, I can put headphones on, or even sometimes I don't even put the headphones on. I just have my phone in my back pocket and I can still hear it, right? It's loud enough. So definitely, I hope that if you're listening to this and you haven't really started leveraging podcasts, I would recommend that you look into it. There's podcast catchers out there that are free, and you can just go to town with it. I mean, there's so many things out there. I listen to preparedness podcasts, but I also listen to podcasts from every different possible, range that you can imagine. There's a podcast out there, and so there's something out there for everyone. The other thing that I do is listening to audiobooks, right? And so I listen to Audible. I use Audible, and I really enjoy Audible because you can very easily start. You can listen to something, and then by the time you know it, you can, you're at work or whatever, you can easily jump off, and it will pick up right where you left off, right? So you won't have to search or whatever. Back in the day when I first started listening to podcasts and I had an MP3 player, I would have to forward it and all that kind of stuff. Nowadays, it's so smart that it just boom, it's right there. And so Audible does a really great job of that. So I highly recommend that. The other thing is maybe you set aside a time for that learning, right? Maybe you set aside a time when you get home after you eat dinner. Maybe you put the kids to sleep, whatever, all that, whatever, 8 to 9, maybe 8:30 to 9:30, maybe something like that. You set aside a time where, hey, this is the time where I'm going to focus on some knowledge. This is the time where I'm going to spend a little bit of time to, focus on myself and in my learning, right? And so that's just really what I had for you today. It's important to build those skills, but it's also important to build that knowledge. And so I guess the challenge to you is, what are you doing to build? Sorry, don't want to kill myself here. Trying to be responsible, right? Finding ways to be able to create content and share ideas that I have with people, but at the same time, being very careful and not killing myself. So how do you do that, right? How are you gaining that knowledge? What are you doing to be purposeful about learning and growing and learning more? So anyway, guys, that's what I have for you today. I hope this has been a blessing. If you don't mind, I'd love for you to like the video if you find value in it, and then also subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I don't know what I'm doing with these things. I don't know if I'm going to do these more often, or if this is just 1, 2, 3 times and I'm done. I find it's very easy to be able to do this while I'm driving. A lot of the times when I'm driving, I'm thinking and I'm processing things through, and it's very easy to upload the videos. And I was able to put on like an ending. I was able to upload my ending and download it to my phone, and so I can just edit it in my phone. It is so crazy how easy it is. But anyway, so I thought I'd do some more of these. I don't know. We'll see what the reaction is. If you appreciate it, let me know in the comments, and we'll just kind of go from there. But anyway, guys, y'all have a great day. God bless, and we'll see you soon.